Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
And the way they made it sound like everything was going to be good. You know, everything's perfect. We're going to take care of you. I should have took my time.
Veterans in Minnesota have been the target of questionable loans that take away from their hard-earned benefits.
They're called pension loans or sometimes pension advancements. Valley News Team's Clint DeRose tells us about one man who found himself stuck in the middle of a particularly nasty financial commitment.
Francis Johnson of Fergus Falls was an artilleryman in the Marines during the Vietnam War, where he became afflicted with depression, PTSD, and medical problems that dog him to this day. Even with his pension, he was having some financial trouble in December of 2015.
I had a couple bills I wanted to pay off, and I'd like to have a little money for Christmas.
So Johnson looked online for a company that would give him a loan that he could work with. He came across Future Income Payments, which offered to loan him $5,000 if he signed a contract online and agreed to pay $334 a month.
So I just briefly looked it over. I was dumb. I didn't read anything. I signed it and closed it out, and they said I would have my money in 7 days. Well, 7 days went by, no money.
The real problem started when he finally, after months of waiting, did get the money.
It hit me like an anvil on the head. 10 years. Yeah, I look at that payment every month, and I kick myself in the rear end for signing that contract.
For his $5,000 loan, he was being forced to pay close to $40,000 over a decade. Because of the struggle for veterans like Johnson, the Minnesota Attorney General is suing Future Income Payments of Delaware and Nevada, accusing them of issuing illegal loans with interest rates as high as 200%. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that Johnson can stop making payments. He has to continue until there's more action in the courts. Johnson's advice for those considering pension loans from any company?
Don't do it. It's a scam.
A message he hopes will save veterans like him from unneeded heartache. In Fergus Falls, Clint DeRose, Valley News Live.
Johnson adds that even with all the payments that he's doing all right and can take care of himself. Now, for more information on this pension loan company and how you can report suspicious loans, click on this story on our website at valleynewslive.com.
A Fargo man could face up to 40 years in prison after allegedly using identity fraud to scam Minnesota food stamp and assistance programs over the course of 6 years. According to the Ramsey County Attorney's Office, 47-year-old Alfonso Shelby is being charged with 2 counts of felony theft. Documents state Shelby lied to obtain benefits, which he wouldn't normally have had access to, and used the names of prison inmates in applying for benefits in multiple Minnesota counties. The county attorney alleges Shelby received over $326,000 in public assistance benefits paid by the Department of Human Services. Shelby could also face up to $200,000 in fines.
2 men are in jail after a cocaine bust in northern Minnesota turned up more than 100 grams of coke. 20-year-old Shay Terrell Yaklich and 21-year-old Brandon Curtis are facing first-degree sale of controlled substance charges. A statement from the Beltrami County Sheriff's Office says the 2 were arrested after an investigation that spanned between the Leech Lake Reservation to the Beltrami County Bemidji area. Authorities say agents made multiple controlled buys from Terrell Yaklich and Curtis, which led to the seizure of about 73 grams of cocaine. They also executed 3 search warrants in Beltrami County and found an additional 44 grams of coke.
The Detroit Lakes Police Department is looking for your help identifying suspects in a theft case. The woman and 2 men in this picture are persons of interest in an incident that happened July 6th. If you recognize any of the people in these photos, please contact Sergeant Robert Strand at 218-846-3204.
We now know the name of a man whose body was found in a vehicle submerged in water near Streator, North Dakota. Investigators say the body of 25-year-old Garrick Bonnet of Streator was discovered yesterday along a stretch of gravel road west of town. An autopsy is being done to determine the exact cause of death.
Rush hour traffic on Interstate 94 was a bit more of a headache than usual today. A crash near the interchange of I-94 and I-29 backed up drivers for about an hour this afternoon. No one was hurt. Crews did have to tow away one of the vehicles involved before traffic could get back up and running.
At least 13 people were killed, 100 injured, including an American, in a terror attack in Barcelona.
A van plowed through the crowd at a popular pedestrian shopping area. 2 suspects are under arrest, but the driver got away.
Spanish police say they have killed 4 people south of the city in response to a second attack. Reporter Terry Okita is in Barcelona with the very latest.
A van became a deadly weapon again in Europe, this time in Barcelona, mowing down pedestrians in the popular Las Ramblas district. They were out shopping, strolling, or dining at the time of the attack. Residents and tourists ran for safety, and nearby buildings were locked down.
We saw all these people, tourists running with bags, moms, kids, everybody trying to find some shelter in some of the buildings around.
Spanish authorities say the attack appears to be the work of a terror cell. Police have 2 men in custody, a Spanish national and a Moroccan, but they say neither is the driver of the van. American officials were swift to react.
The United States condemns this terror attack, and we will do whatever is necessary to help.
Witnesses say the van swerved from side to side as it sped along the promenade, apparently trying to hit as many people as possible. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack. ISIS has encouraged the use of vehicles as weapons of terror because the attacks are very difficult to prevent.
Any iconic sort of tourist landmark, any place where people gather, restaurants, squares, you can't protect all of them.
There are police checkpoints on roads leading in and out of Barcelona. Spanish officials have declared 3 days of mourning. Terry Okita, CBS News, Barcelona.
Police are connecting a deadly house explosion last night with today's terror attack in Las Ramblas. They have not specified the nature of that connection.
The kinds of synthetic drugs that people are using are getting stronger. However, the solution for overdoses isn't always keeping up. People who have taken fentanyl or carfentanil need 2, 3, sometimes 4 doses of Narcan to be revived.
We run reports to see how often we're giving Narcan. There's a lot of misinformation because it's not 1 dosage per person. You could give up to 3 dosages for 1 patient alone. Just because you give them a dose, they become awake, but then they go back down again. Got to give them another dose, they come up again. Those kinds, sometimes they do have to be transported because then they have to be put on a Narcan drip.
Paramedics say so far this year they have been called out to fewer drug overdoses than last year.
Getting ready for school usually involves new clothes along with school supplies.
And that can get expensive. So the local nonprofit YouthWorks hosted its annual We've Got You Covered clothing giveaway to help relieve parents of those costs.
Valley News Team's Molly Casey has our story.
Clothing is fairly expensive.
Each year, families spend hundreds of dollars on back-to-school clothing, but for some, a lot of those trendy new clothes are a bit outside of the budget. Until the doors of the Agassiz Gym opened.
So we have things like winter jackets, we got socks and underwear, we got hoodies, we got things that just are really basic things that you just wish people didn't have to worry about.
Families from as far as Hankinson flooded the gyms to fill bags with donated items like pants, shoes, and jackets. But these items meant just a little more.
Being that I lost my job 2 weeks ago.
We can get clothes so then I can get my kids' haircuts instead.
Yeah, financially it helps me out immensely, yes.
There were no restrictions on who could attend the giveaway, but for many parents, it was the chance to let their kids choose freely.
Normally in a store I'm going, nope, that's like $20. You're not getting a t-shirt for $20.
I thought it would be a good time for the kids, and it seems like it really is. They're really enjoying themselves.
And parents had a message for YouthWorks.
Thank you. I appreciate this. You wouldn't believe how much.
Thank you very much for holding this event every year. It helps a lot of families.
From Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
A great effort. This was the 4th annual We've Got You Covered event for the Fargo YouthWorks location, and volunteers say they hope someday the event won't be needed.